executive committee looked at prior to, but we wrote them actually to the judges committee, and they wanted to, they wrote us a letter back stating that they took the matter very seriously and were concerned, but that it was going to go to review to the judges committee first, which would be in April when they meet at workshop, and then they will take it from there. But they were going to first give it to the judges committee because our letters were actually, it was a judge's issue for us, not an executive committee. It was actually a judge's issue. And there was, there was several things that took place within the room that were not in very good taste, and things that were said, and we all stated it in our letters in our own words, but they are taking the matter seriously. Right. Well, it was basically, it was a comment that was made of, his name was never mentioned, but it was clearly who he was talking about. So, but I do know that the executive committee listened to or read the letters, were very upset by what they read. I know the judges committee is, from several that I know are on it, are taking this as a very serious matter, but we do have to wait for the process to go through the workshop because the judges committee is not meeting. So with a person did it for me, and I guess I could speak up for the other 5 judges. Again, Scott himself, it was procedure and the things were said and what was done in there, it wasn't the right thing to do, and we wanted to, first of all, set precedents for our fellow judges that they wouldn't have to ever be put through something like that or called on the carpet like that, because there was no rule violations or anything that took place. And then, of course, there was a statement made about a certain exhibitor, but never the name, but we all knew what it meant. Right. Being placed, and I just stepped up and said, when he pointed his finger in my face, I was like, "Listen, buddy, you can have my card. This doesn't mean that much to me. I love what I do, but I'm not going to pin it the way you want it or anybody else wants it. I'm going to do it my way." And Margot Ball, Cindy Rucker, they've been around for years. They stood up. And Chris Strine and Darren Wright both wrote letters, and I think it's done a lot of good. They're very, like I said, they're taking this matter very seriously.
Yeah, I would definitely hope.
It's a little hard to do because, you put your head on the chopping block, but we figured, I'm blessed by what I have, and I thought, you know what, I love paint horses. They have been great to me, but at the same time, if there was a judge that couldn't take that, it could ruin their whole world show, placing. We're going to judge it the way we saw it, and that's what we did. We have a hard enough time pinning horses, let alone worried about who's on them or who's leading them. I know people think that's what happens, but believe me, it's hard enough to find what you need out there. I think what you're going to have to do is, is everybody's going to have to wait to see what the judges committee, first of all, comes up with for a suggestion of what to do. I have some ideas what they might do, but I can't say. I'm not on the nut, who the judges committee is going to be. And like I said, I don't want to read you my letter because I wrote it specifically to the judges committee. It needs to stay that way until they make a decision. I think we could do ourselves a lot more harm out there gossiping about it than wait until they actually get the facts and let them handle the situation. To tell you this, there wasn't one judge in there, we all hear things, that said a negative thing, thought a negative thing of Scott's, I know Scott's had problems. We've all had issues, or things like that, but not one judge in that class because of any of his, doings prior to that class. We judged him as any other in the class. And I think that stands a lot for the 5 judges that stood up and said, "Tough luck, I don't care what you think of what we should do. This is what we're going to do." But like I said, I wish I could give you more information, but I think I'd be hurting ourselves more. But if you can wait till April, till that workshop comes along, the new set of judges committee comes out, hopefully really think they're going to have to do something. It was handled really bad, and as an APHA judge, I think they're going to have to do things. They don't back us as much as we would like them to back us. So they're not going to put their neck up. But, the 5 of us, or 3 of us at least, in the very beginning said, we're not going to let this go. We just can't. It's just not in our nature to let things like that. We're going to at least state our, case. And if they don't like us, they don't ever have to have us back. But at least we are going to stand up for our exhibitors. Remember, they pay our salary, the exhibitors. And we got to go home and put our head on the pillow at nighttime and know we did the right thing. And I told Scott when I talked to him after this whole thing, I said, Scott, wouldn't be judging anybody like that, Especially, and the problem is, the guy's got talent, and people just hate that, and I don't understand it. I'm like, God, he's blessed with talent,
Yeah, they want to.
It's a shame that, things happen, to people, but they. Nothing's perfect.
No,
that
exactly.
Day, he was the winner of the class for us. And see, I had used them 3 classes. I used them first in all 3 classes, so that really just Jackson off for me. And, I looked at him going, poof, go away from me. I don't need to hear from you. I've had a very good career in this. My daddy didn't get me anywhere. I didn't have to do anything. I've done all mine on my own type of deal. So, type of deal. But so, do you understand what I'm saying? What I actually said or what happened? Just because I want the judges committee to handle it. I've talked to Miss Millen. I've talked to Tim Finkenbinder, and they're all the same thing, saying, please, let's just give us some time here. Let this. If you want to call Cindy or Margot, maybe they can help you a little more. But I'm going to just remain real close. It was all in favor of doing the right thing and saying exactly what happened in there. So I'm hoping they'll all stand up and do the right thing.